there, it's Mari from My Heart Races, and today we're going to talk about pacing, how to pace yourself on race day. All right, when you're running a race and you want to pace yourself, what you always want to have in the back of your mind is your time goal. You want a time goal that's challenging, but also a time goal that's achievable. Once you figure out your time goal, you're going to figure out your average pace and what your average pace is going to be for the race. If you're a beginner or a first timer and you don't know where to begin with a time goal, then what I usually tell people to do is to run a 10K, a local 10K. 10K is 6.2 miles. Run a 10K at your best effort, and you can base a time goal for a half marathon or a full marathon on that 10K time. So the way that I usually do this is the Runner's World website, which is runnersworld.com. And there's a tool, it's called the Race Times Predictor. I'll actually leave a link below the video. But anyway, what you want to do is go to the Race Times Predictor, type in your 10K time, and then it will give you a good time goal to set for your half or full marathon. Well, once you've determined your time goal and your average pace that you're going to run to achieve that time goal, what you want to do is practice this average pace on a midweek run, not a long run, but on a midweek run, and make sure that it's something that you can maintain for longer periods of time during a run. So if you've practiced your pace during the midweek runs and they're challenging, but you can achieve them, then you should probably leave your time goal alone. If it's difficult to maintain this pace and you're having a hard time maintaining the pace during your runs, then you might want to think about adjusting your time goal a little bit. When you're running your long runs, always make sure you can maintain an average pace that's 60 to 90 seconds slower than how fast you plan on running on race day. If you're having a hard time with both of these things, it might be time to reevaluate and adjust your time goal. I have a few tips for race day and for pacing yourself. The first one is do not follow pacers. Pacers are actually hired by the race to run the race with a certain time goal displayed. It's usually on their t-shirt, they're holding a sign. Pacers are dead to me, and they should be dead to you too. And the reason behind this is that a lot of times they're not reliable, and a lot of times they have a different racing strategy than you have. Another reason is they're so easily lost. If you end up needing to use the restroom, if you end up taking a little more time at a water station and you lose them, you're out of luck. And I really believe that everyone should have their own racing strategy and have their legs set the pace and not someone else. And so no pacers, none for me. And if they work for you, that's great. But for a first timer, I always say ignore them, pretend they're not even there. Something that is so key when you have to maintain a pace throughout a race is fueling. If you are not fueling properly, your legs literally will stop moving and you'll slow down, you'll feel sluggish, you'll start to feel sick, you'll start to feel dehydrated. So it's so important. If you plan on maintaining a pace throughout an entire half marathon or marathon, you need to be fueling properly and correctly. When you're trying to maintain a pace to achieve a time goal for a half marathon or marathon, you need to have a strategy when it comes to water stations. The reason behind this is it takes time and you need to factor that in. So if you approach the water station and you have a strategy, it'll be a breeze. This is what I do at water stations. When you see it coming up, if it's on the left or the right, always try to scoot over and get on that side. As you're approaching the water station, first you need to decide whether you're gonna have water or a sports drink. If the sports drink comes later, then don't get to the side right away. You want to pass the water and then get over later to get the sports drink. If you want water, for instance, and it's first and it's on your right, what you want to do is when you know it's coming up, get to the right. Stay to the right side. When you see a volunteer holding a cup of water, you point to them, you make eye contact with them, and sometimes I even say something like, give me that, or something that lets them know that you have your eye on them and that you're going to take that cup. When you take the cup, you crush it. I feel like I should have a cup in my hand. When you take the cup, you crush it so it's long and narrow, and then you drink it that way. But as you're doing this, as you're crushing it and drinking it, what you want to do is find your way outside to the left, if the water station's on the right, to the left, to get away from all the other people that are slowing down. They're all slowing down, they're all trying to get water too, they're all walking. You wanna get away from that and avoid that and just carry on after you've gotten your drink. Okay, so what I'm gonna talk about now is my racing strategy. It's important to remember that everyone has a different racing strategy and everyone's gonna have different advice when it comes to this. So remember that this is how I like to do things and it's my advice, so do with it what you will. At the beginning of a race, there's so much excitement and energy in the air. There's so much adrenaline pumping through your body. You're gonna be excited, you're gonna be anxious and nervous and ready to go. And so it's so easy to just cross the start line and go so fast. And we don't wanna do that. But also, on the same hand, it's free energy, it's there, and you wanna use it and you wanna take advantage of it. So at the start of a race, you want to walk that balance beam of not pushing it too hard, but using that energy because it's there and it feels good. Some people have a racing strategy of banking time at the beginning of a race. This is a terrible idea. Don't ever do this. Actually, you can if you want. Some people do it. I think it's a terrible idea. But they bank time at the beginning, meaning they go fast at the beginning and do it fast and not take up a lot of time, knowing that in the end they're gonna be tired and slow. And this is a terrible idea because number one, you will burn out and you will feel terrible and you will go slow at the end. And that's exactly what you don't want. It's not what I want. It's not what you're gonna want either. You wanna feel good at the end. So I always say to that, don't do it. And I have known, I won't name names which marathons do it, but I have known marathon pacers to do this, to bank time at the beginning, knowing that the end is hard. And it's not good. It's another reason. Do not follow pacers. Do not. They are dead to you. On the other hand, I never like to start too slow because that time that you lose by going too slow is time that you might not be able to get back. And so I don't like to start out too slow and count on speeding up at the end. Number one, I don't know how I'm gonna feel at the end. And number two, if it's time lost, it's time that you can't get back. So if you have a time goal and you start out too slow, then it's time lost and it could have been run faster if you hadn't counted on having the fast running at the end. With all this being said, my racing strategy is to maintain a steady pace throughout. I try to find my rhythm in the beginning, and once I find my rhythm, it's just easier to maintain it throughout the whole race. If towards the end of the race, I'm feeling okay, I've kept my rhythm and I feel strong, then I pick it up. But unless you've run a marathon before, everyone who's run a marathon knows this, you never know how you're gonna feel during that last 6.2 or 10K miles, 10 kilometers, 6.2 miles. You never know how you're gonna feel. You could feel terrible. You could feel like a superhero and you could feel amazing. If that's the case, speed up. If you're feeling bad, just try your best to maintain the rhythm that you've maintained all throughout. So that's my racing strategy. Find your rhythm, keep your rhythm. If you feel good at the end, speed up. If you don't, just maintain your rhythm. One last thing I wanna mention about pacing on race day, and this is really important, is that sometimes at a race, your pace is not gonna translate exactly how it translated the way you trained. And this is for many reasons. You could be in a different state. You could be at a different altitude. There could be a headwind, a tailwind. There could be extreme heat. There could be extreme cold. There could be thousands and thousands and thousands of runners all around you and it's impossible to go fast because there's people all around you. So what you wanna always do is race and run by feel and effort. And don't spend so much time concentrating on what your watch is saying. Because if there's a strong headwind and it's a really hot day, you're not gonna go as fast as you went when you were training at home. So if you go by feel and effort, then you can still maintain a good pace throughout the race. If you're going by what your clock says, by what your watch is saying, then you might get frustrated. You might not be able to maintain that pace because you have a headwind and because it's hot. So always race by feel, always race by effort, and know that if those things come up on race day, there's not much you can do about it, there's not much you can control, and just try your best, do your best. if you don't achieve your time goal, just know that you can try again. It's not the last marathon. Thanks so much for watching my video on pacing yourself for a half or full marathon. And please let me know what you think. Hopefully you found it informative and helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and leave a comment and let me know what you think. Happy running!